Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war, I'll fight. Damn right. Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything.
All right, we are back. Welcome to the Professional Stepdad Show. I am your host, Franco Zavala. Thank you very much for joining me. It is the new year. This is episode 101. As you can see behind me, you're going to see a lot of, well, if you're watching this, for the listeners, my office is being redone. This is where I shoot my podcast, so I'm doing a new backdrop. And so I gave the kids free rein to kind of just go nuts on it, and they did. They decided to draw and paint on it. So if you are watching this, you'll understand that the backdrop is definitely different, but it's fun. I don't really want to zoom out on it because some of the stuff the kids have in there, they are kids. Before I go any further, if you have not, please like, subscribe, share to the show. Episode 100 that we did on Scott D. Henry. If you have not listened to it, I highly recommend you go back and listen to the interview I did with Scott. Scott is also a stepdad, a little bit of fame on social media, and he's all about love and positivity and changing the narrative like I am about what it means to not only be a stepdad, but to be a parent that loves and that is present and that listens and understands. Like I said, it's a great conversation, so I would recommend you go back and listen to it. Today's episode is going to be specifically focused on, so I haven't shot an episode. What's today? The 11th? Is today the 11th? Yeah, today's the 11th. I haven't shot an episode since the end of the year. One of the reasons for it is because, again, like I said, I'm redoing my entire office so I can kind of ramp up the show and ramp up guests and travel a little bit so I can speak to other stepdads around the country. So I've had a lot of you guys sending questions or emailing me questions. So what I wanted to do is I just picked 4 out of the list of, I'm going to say around 60 that I had, and I'm going to read them and then I'm just going to kind of address them. So stepdads, these questions are going to be very recognizable. They are going to be either something that you've thought about, that you are thinking about right now. Maybe you've dealt with it in the past. Either way, this is just going to be my 2 cents on how I handled these specific scenarios and or questions. So let's just jump right into it. So question number 1. What do I do if I feel like I have no voice in the family? So that's a really great question. No voice. What does that mean, guys? What that means is that this stepdad does not feel like he has any responsibility within the family at all. Meaning his voice and his advice, his parenting, it's going one ear and out the other, whether it's with the kids, whether if it's with his partner, with other family members. He doesn't feel like anything he says is going to stick. And if I showed you the rest of this email, you would see it along the lines that he wants to give up. He doesn't feel like he has any responsibility, and he does not feel like he should even try anymore. Right? He's just like, look, it's almost like they just want me there to fill some sort of a position, but nobody really wants to allow me to parent or to be there or to help. So every time he tries to say something, he's getting a lot of disrespect. So again, the question is, what do I do if I feel like I have no voice in the family? And what you do right off the bat is you have to sit down with your partner. If you have no voice in the family, it's mainly two main things. One, you may not be confident enough in your ability to parent within your family. Confidence is big. Confidence will always be big. And what does confidence stem from? Confidence stems from the self-work that you do. So, I would recommend that you take a step back and you start working on building your self-confidence, changing the narrative in your head about what you feel and how you feel about being a parent in a blended family. If you don't have confidence, if you don't express and show leadership, your voice will fall on deaf ears. And then you have to sit down with your partner. You have to sit down and you have to constantly communicate with one another about the parenting responsibilities within the home. I've said this 1,000 times, that if you feel like your wings are being clipped, it's because you have not had the conversation with your partner to say, look, you know, this has nothing to do with discipline and with punishment. This has everything to do with parenting. We are raising kids to grow up to be adults so they can be functioning in this world. And if you don't allow me to be a part of that narrative around that, you know, a part of that conversation, then it's almost like everything I say and anything I say holds no value within the home. So, you know, my advice to him was, if you feel like you have no voice in the family, you have to take that step back and ask yourself, I have no voice. Why? Why don't I have a voice? Why is it that no matter what I'm communicating or no matter what I'm saying, it's not getting through to either my partner or the kids or the other family members? Why does it feel like everybody's keeping me at arm's length? And the reason for that is because your nonverbal communication, the way you're delivering the message and whatever you're trying to do, is not coming across like a confident individual that wants to run that family and be the leader in that house. Period. Now, question 2. How do I approach my partner about the line she drew in the sand? So kind of like what I just talked about, right? So this question was sent to me by a new stepdad. And this stepdad got right to the point. The relationship began with, you can do this, I'm going to do that. You cannot cross this line any way, shape, or form. And this is what kind of is getting this stepdad. And grandmas on both sides, grandmas are going to be watching every move you make. And if you try to do something when I'm not there, they are my voice when I'm not in the room. And I can tell you right now, bio moms, that if you are doing this to your partner, if you are doing this to the stepdad that has made the decision to step into this blended family and to help you not only lead and mentor and guide and teach, but to raise young adults and children into functioning individuals in today's society, you have to do things split, 50-50 down the middle. Again, this is not about punishments. I think we have to get rid of that whole narrative around stepdads or stepmoms when they want to discipline. We automatically default into, slapping and hitting and spanking and all the shit that we see on television and on TV. In movies. We have to step away from that, because what it's doing is stopping it's stopping the step parent. It's limiting them to tap into this ability to be a contributing member within the family. So if you're in a position right now where you feel like that controversial line has been drawn in the sand, then I need you to do me a favor. I need you to know that that's not fucking right. Don't put up with that. It's not. It's just not. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's not right. The line in the sand is fucking bullshit. You need to address it. How do you address it? Well, I can tell you that you have to so every individual and every scenario is going to be a little bit different, but approaching the scenario has to be focused around, we need to be a team in the parenting when it comes to the children. Now, some of you are going to have bio dads still in the picture, whether they're poisonous or not. And they are going to also have a say on the fact whether or not you're allowed to parent. Let me make something fucking clear here. You're a dad in a home, stepdad, blended family, fucking bonus, whatever you want to call yourself. If you are the leader within that home and you have a partnership with if you have developed teamwork with your partner within the four walls of your home, you are a parent. You need to be able to parent together, 50-50 down the line. You get her back, she gets yours. You can't control what happens when they leave. You just can't. You can't control what they read in text messages and what a poisonous family member or bio dad might say to them when you're not there. Your only job is to maintain consistency in your growth as a parent and as a stepdad who is taking on the responsibility of leadership and mentoring and listening and all the shit that I've talked about over the last 100 episodes. So, line in the sand is fucking bullshit. Don't aggressively approach it, but it is time to address it. New year, address it. It's all about parenting. Question 3. I've been a stepdad for 7 years and I feel like I've gone nowhere. What do I do? Answer. The day lead up, no. Answer. You've been a stepdad for 7 years and you feel like you've gone nowhere. What do you mean nowhere? I think what he meant by this, because I didn't, that's all that said. I think what he means by this is that he doesn't feel like he's developed the relationships that he thought he was going to have within his family. Maybe he didn't get close to the kids. Maybe his partner and him are not where they need to be romantically and spiritually and with their health. But he feels like he's gone nowhere. So the answer is in the question. You've been in there 7 years. You feel like you've gone nowhere. Then chances are you haven't gone anywhere. Does that mean you can't go? And does that mean you can't begin now to progress forward? No, it means you can. What it means is you're going to have to start doing that self-work that I always talk about. You have to sit down and you have to write out your objective, your goal, your family goal, your goal for yourself, your goal for you and your partner. You have to sit down, you have to write these out, and you have to have something to strive for, to shoot for. You have to have something that you can look at each and every day and envision how you want your relationships to be within the home. And if you are not doing that and you are leaving it up to chance, chances are you're fucking gonna be gone soon. That's just the facts. So how do you begin to progressively move forward as a stepdad? Start working on yourself. Start figuring out what it is you're doing. Start figuring out why no one's connecting with you. Start figuring out why you feel like you're stuck in the mud. Identify those problems and then actively attack it to make your situation better. You have to do that. Okay, last question. How do I balance my needs? How do I balance the needs of my partner, the needs of myself, and the needs of my kid? So balance within the family. How do you, okay, I got what you're saying. Again, this is another question that was just sent with no real meat and potato behind it. It was just a question. How do I balance my needs, my partner's needs, and the needs of my kids? So this is about balance within the home. Great question. Great fucking question, because there's a lot of, I'm gonna have to say the vast majority of stepdads, when they come into a blended family, they make they make a mistake. And the mistake that they make, which is very common, is I'm going to go all in on the fucking kids. I'm going to make everybody love me and respect me and value me. And the problem is you can't do it that way. And the reason for it is because they don't fucking know you. Therefore, you haven't built trust. And if they don't trust you and they don't know you, they might be polite, but they are not going to see you the way you can see it in your head right when you jump in. But those are for parents that go all in on the stepkids, all in on them. Or you come into your blended family and you go all in on your partner, and you're gonna love her, and I'm gonna show the kids that I love mom, but then and when they see me that how much I love her, they're going to love and respect me because they know that I'm there for a good reason. It's also fucking wrong. Or you go all in on yourself in the beginning, which again, it's also step number one. So kind of stay with me here. You go all in on yourself and you just do all this work and everything you're doing, but you're not paying attention to what's going on the outside. So the way to balance that is simple. You have to construct a set of rules and guidelines for yourself that you will only spend a certain amount of time on you, and then you will spend a certain amount of time on you and your partner, and then you will spend a certain amount of time on you and the kids. My advice is do the kids last, let the kids thing happen. In the meantime, what you need to do is shut the fuck up and listen. They're going to tell you what they need. They're going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you their fears. They're going to express their ignorance because, again, they're kids. They don't know any fucking better. Some of the kids, like my oldest daughter, was just extremely smart, and she tested me and tested me and tested me. And if I would have taken that and I would have bid on it, right? If I would have been a fish in water, if I would have bid on the bait, I probably wouldn't have the relationship that I have with her now. What I decided to do is I saw her trying to test me, and I just let it happen. I let her kind of just she kept doing the line, kept letting it get to me to see if I was going to take the bait, and I didn't. What I did do though is in the meantime is I just listened to her speak to her mom, or I listened to her speak to her sisters, and I started to take notes on what she liked, what she didn't like, where she was, what she was doing, what she was into. And again, this is my oldest daughter. Now, mind you, I did this with all my fucking kids. And that helped me when it was time to jump into the relationship because it didn't seem like I was some stranger that didn't know her. I knew her. Same that goes with my partner. Again, remember, this is all about the balance and the amount of time and structured energy that you put into each individual 3 parts of your family. That's what the family is. Remember, the teamwork and the partnership between you and your spouse, that's the middle. That's that balance, right? Things are going to sway back and forth, but as long as you two are on the same page, you guys are good. You guys are good. The family will be good. You will have your ups and downs, but as long as you two can maintain that balance between you two, you'll be okay. Then you have to maintain yourself. You got to work on yourself, but don't go too far. Meaning, like, you don't want to, I tell you to work on yourself. It's step one. You know this about me. But if you spend all your time reading books and listening to videos and not sharing what you're doing with others, they're gonna feel like you're neglecting them or you don't give a shit. Same thing goes on the opposite side. If you're going all in and you're like nonstop trying to win the kids' love and admiration, these two things won't stay balanced. So it's just trying to keep those three things, right? Those three balls in the air, just keep them nice and easy, nice and balanced. And mind you can't, I can tell you all day, spend only an X amount of time on each three thing, but it's a lot easier said than done. You have to limit yourself to a time frame on each sector and then be patient with the process. Be patient with it. So that is how you balance your needs, your partner's needs, and the needs of your kids. So, All right, guys, that's episode 101. On the road to 200. No. Once again, if you have not, please like, subscribe, share to the show, hit that notification button, send a comment. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, the professional website. Damn, I do that all the time. TheProfessionalStepdad.com is up. It's running. Head over there. Stepdads, if you are listening to this, pay attention real quick because I want to share something with you. Maybe you want to share your story. Maybe you want to just talk with me on the show via Zoom or maybe in person. Send me an email. Contact at theprofessionalstepdad.com. Send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are because there's only so much, like I could speak on this subject of being a stepdad all day long. I'm never going to run out of material, ever. At the same time, I would love to individually address your needs, wants, desires, fears, worries, all that stuff. Face to face if I can, or over Zoom if I can. And the reason I like to do this is because sometimes you just need to hear it from their mouth in order for that thing to happen, that fire to light, in order to get that real change. Even if it's a phone call, I'll just record, I'll do the podcast and if you know what Ask Gary Vee is, it's the same kind of process. He goes live and people call in and he answers questions. I think that's awesome. And I want to start doing that too, because I think it holds more value. So that's it. Episode 101, The Professional Stepdad Show. Thank you very much, guys. Again, blessed, humbled, loved, grateful for each and every one of you. You are all needed, valued, and wanted. You just got to keep going with patience. Talk to you soon.
Damn right. Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything. Your blue sky.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.